Hey guys, welcome to this special episode of Ghosted Hunters. It's Erin and
Ariel.
And we just want to apologize because this week we weren't able to give you part 2 of the last episode because I was sick. So it takes about a week to kind of do this whole thing. So thanks for being patient, but we promised we'd make it up to you. And we did because we have an amazing guest today. Welcome Jefferies to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. Why were you sick? What was wrong with you?
I just kind of had this weird cold that was going away and coming back like every other day. So
Your cold was ghosting
That happens
you.
at the early stages of an HIV infection.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very early on. That's what happens. You just get a couple of colds. But no, you can live with it for a very long time now, so that's fine.
Yeah, well, with the lack of sex I've been having, I'd be shocked if I had HIV. But
Well,
I guess
needles. It's probably from the
It's
needles.
probably from
Oh, yeah,
sharing
it's from
needles.
the drugs.
Yeah,
It's from
yeah.
the drugs. You're
Yeah,
right. All right. So, on the last episode of Ghosted Hunters, you want to give the recap, Ariel? Like, what happened?
Our last episode, we had Steve, who went into a dive bar and met this older woman. Mm-hmm. They were drinking. He rescued her from a guy who was hitting on her.
How old was Steve and how old was the older woman?
Steve is in his 20s, but looks to be in his 30s. And the woman was probably in her late 40s.
And her name was Leslie.
Her name was Leslie. And so they went back to her place.
Right, because Steve lives with his parents.
Yeah, probably. And they were about to hook up in her daughter's bedroom.
Right, okay. Why not her bedroom?
Exactly.
Well, we'd like
We
to
don't
know.
know.
We're not sure.
It is weird when you're a parent, when you do have my bedroom surrounded by pictures of a 5-year-old. You do put up pictures of your child, and when you're with the mother, it's fine. It's like lovely. It's like, look at our child. But otherwise, it does get.
So you would go to your son's room?
No, I'd never have sex in my son's room. Went on some Star Wars blankets in a bunk bed where I could hit my head. No.
Yeah. So, we thought it was a little bit odd too.
Yeah.
That was our first red flag. But what ends up
So they're in the
happening
midst of hooking up. Her clothes come off. He realizes that she's not as hot in the light of her daughter's bedroom as she
Right.
was at the bar. And she went to the bathroom to change, and he bolted. He left.
without saying goodbye.
He didn't say goodbye. He left while she was in the bathroom.
Right.
And-
He couldn't fake an illness.
I mean,
He
he
couldn't
should have.
fake
Well, that's what we
anything.
want. We want to know, have you ever been in a situation like that where you were mid hookup and you started to have second thoughts?
Oh yes, but I've always gone through with it because once you get back to the house, you can't go no then if you've made that much progress. You just have to go, oh God, what am I thinking? And then you just get it over and done with as quickly as possible. The worst one I ever did was I was living in Britain for many, many years, and I was broke for most of the time that I was living there, and I hooked up with a girl. I was in some small village somewhere. I couldn't tell you where. It was somewhere between like Liverpool and Manchester. I was living in Manchester at the time. I ended up in a small village, and I woke up next to the lady, and she didn't look as good as I remember when I picked her up the night before. And I didn't even know how to get out or where a train station might be or whatever. But I had in my pocket, I had £400 from the gig that I had done the night before. She was trying to sell her car for £600 out the front, a Peugeot 203. And I bargained her down to 400 and made her sign the pink slip, and then I drove away. So that was pretty bad.
Oh
and I got
my
a car out of the
God.
whole thing. I had that car for 2 years.
You bought a car
You
to
were
get
so
out of a
desperate
hookup.
to get out of a hookup.
That's-
You bought the girl's car.
Yeah, the girl's car. Yeah, I did. I gave her a fair price. I didn't make any false promises that I was going to be back. I wasn't mean like that, but I thought I don't know how to get to a train station. I need to get out of here quickly.
God.
So she was hungover, and I purchased the car in cash and then drove off, and I went back to my house where I lived with a whole lot of comedians and just went, we got a car, because we were all broke and no one had a car before, so that we used that car for years.
That woman was
so
kind of like a
funny.
hero.
Yeah.
She got you guys a car.
Yeah, well, my quick talking got us a car, but yeah, she got us a car.
That's an amazing story.
I don't know if that's a ghosting thing, but that was getting.
I mean,
No, I love it. We're just here to talk to you. Jim Jefferies, you're the best.
Yeah, that's a story that someone on some Republican website will go, left-wing comedian uses his position of power to achieve car. I'll
Well,
probably get in trouble for that one.
it doesn't seem like that. It seems like that's fair. You needed a mode of
I needed a
transportation to
vehicle
get out of there.
I was a young, plucky, I was probably 25 or something. I think she was in her mid-30s.
Okay.
That's the right age to do
Seems like
something like that.
Similar to Steve and Leslie.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah, so I empathize with Stephen.
Let's go back to the whole like kid bedroom thing. So if you're with someone and they're like, "Hey, let's hook up in my kid's bedroom," like, what is your first thought? Are you like,
I've never had someone ask that.
Hypothetically.
I would already be a bit creeped out then. And see, maybe Leslie still had a husband or a significant other that she was trying to hide things that were on the nightstand in the
that's what I thought
in the
initially.
regular bedroom.
All the gentlemen's
Yes,
things.
there's obviously a man living in the house sometimes that comes over.
Right. I thought that she was probably married still, like you said, like a cougar, married, just trying to have a one-night stand.
Right.
Yeah, her husband's maybe out of town, and this is her chance.
And she didn't want him to know. But then again, like, why would she go to that route to hide it? You know, like, he's already there.
Why didn't they just have sex in the living room?
Yeah.
Like
Love
normal
living room sex.
people.
Living room's good.
Living room's
Because then
great.
you can act like you're about to watch television for a bit. And
Yeah.
Then
Oh, yeah. Like, let's
It's like
watch
a
a movie.
fun
And then
gradual
and then
lead
one
up.
thing can lead to another, and then you're having the sex on the sofa, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the beds is sort of so mundanely boring. The living room's got different levels going on.
You do all kinds of positions.
Positions, things you can be propped up on them versus,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Kama Sutra.
Yeah,
if you get thirsty, you're probably by water
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
or alcohol.
And there's no implication that you're going to spend the night
Right.
because you're on the furniture.
You're on the furniture, yes. It's like you can get the clothes back on and get out of there. You don't have to, you're not in a stationary place. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jim, what is the best way, if any, to get out of a situation mid-hookup where you decide maybe you don't want to be doing this anymore? Like,
Mid-hookup, like mid-sex, or mid, like, going to have sex?
yeah, like in this
It's the
case.
same-
Foreplay.
It's the same as getting out of work. You fake an illness. You said, oh, I've eaten something.
I don't feel well.
I don't feel well. Now, what you do is you do something that involves shit. Because
Oh my God.
That's a good,
Yeah,
turn off.
I ate something, and then you're like, oh, I gotta go to the toilet, and then you stay in there for a long time, just sitting there, you write it out, and then you come back out going, oh, I better leave.
Like food poisoning.
Yeah,
kind
food
of thing.
poisoning type of thing, and also because no one's thought fuck a person's just shut themselves for 15 minutes, so shit related.
Well, I mean, there's
people.
there's
but-
a group of people.
There's a group of people, but I mean, for the most part, you do something with food poisoning is the best way to get out. Or you when they're in the bathroom, you text a friend to ring you to tell you that, and then you go, oh, there's something up, I have to hurry, I've got a friend who's in trouble or something, I don't know. Some lie is always the best way to get out of anything.
The way that
Telling the truth is not getting you fucking anywhere. That's such a lot of bullshit.
People don't want the truth.
They don't want the truth in that
No.
situation. No, you have to lie.
I think a white lie is the right move. Sometimes I'll do something where I'm like, I have an early meeting. I'll just say
leave.
something's early in the morning.
I just
yeah,
get up
but
and
you're more
leave.
like straightforward than I am, I
I
think.
Yeah.
feel like your lives are
I
a lot
don't
more
have a
adventurous
filter.
than mine. These situations don't happen that often. I just normally just power through the whole thing. But like that, you actually.
I left in the middle of a hookup once.
Okay, tell that story. I want to hear it.
This guy had told me he was an actor, which was already iffy. And we went on a date. We go back to his place, and it turns out he does those, or like he was doing Emmanuel movies. Do you know what those are?
No, what is
It's
that?
like
Soft
the
porn.
soft porn, yeah. And this is like in the midst of us hooking up, yeah. And he had brought out a paddle and everything, and I'm like, this is a little emotionally taxing for me, and I'm gonna leave.
Emotionally
Like I didn't even
taxing?
have a specific. Yeah, I just said it was emotionally taxing.
Why
So I
was-
just looked
was
crazy.
Was the paddle too much? Was the paddle the big thing that was?
No, it was the porn thing. I was like, you should tell someone you're a porn
I don't
star.
think they
up
actually have
front.
sex in those movies, though. That's all simulated sex in those films. That's not actual sex.
It's not actual sex,
Yes, but it's.
but it's still very. It's in the porn world.
Have
It's
you
not
ever
my thing.
have you ever hooked up with someone that worked in porn? Because that might be fun.
Beyond that guy, I don't think so. I'm not.
Would you
really-
ever?
No, it doesn't do anything for me.
What about you, Jim?
I have, yes, but
Yeah.
I choose not to mention any more on that subject.
I I think maybe
perfect.
someone like Fabio with like hair and abs and like a fake tan. Because if you're gonna go that route, like why not go all out?
the
Oh,
way?
you want
you
like
know?
a cheesy sort of European looking film.
Yeah, someone with an accent. That might be fun.
I mean, I would pick like a Ron Jeremy, like a classic,
No, Ron.
who's gross, but then it's the story of saying
You wouldn't.
Ron
no,
Jeremy.
No,
It
not
would be
Ron
very
Jeremy.
hard
No,
to like.
I know you've met Ron Jeremy. Everybody has in this town. If you hang out at you've met Ron. If you hang out at comedy clubs, you've met Ron. He's always there.
Yeah, he's always there.
Yeah.
He's a narcoleptic.
He is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just falls asleep?
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
But can come on cue. So swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah.
How long has he been retired for?
I think it's been decades.
No, I think he still does the occasional little walk-on part in things
He does.
where he's like acting and stuff. But I don't think he's been retired from the sex for that long.
Do you think he ghosts people all the time?
I think he gets ghosted all the time now.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
His cachet is gone.
That's sad.
Yeah, but what is he, almost 70 or something? Like, he's got to be...
He's pretty old. I don't
'Cause
think
he
he's
would-
that old. I think he's like in his late 50s.
No, because he became popular in the 70s.
Oh.
I'm 41. There is no way that man's just 10 years older than me. It's not, no. No. He was a popular porn star in 1975.
Have you ever ghosted anyone, Jim?
I have, but I'm not prolific at it.
Prolific? Like you're not great at it?
No, prolific means like I don't have many
not
different
your
stories
everyday.
at it. No, it's not my everyday. No, my thing is, if I would say anything, I don't know how to date properly. I'm not good at the dating.
Why?
Because I break up with a girl and then the next girl I start seeing is I always go on like 7 dates or 8 or 9 dates, and then I meet someone and I go, all right, they'll start seeing you, and then all of a sudden you got another girlfriend again. Because I guess that's what I don't understand what you're meant to do. Because people go, oh no, I've been single for a couple of years, I just date. It's like, what, you just go on single dates? Because what are you going 3 dates, 4 dates? You're just dumping people constantly. You're getting dumped constantly. I don't.
But you don't commit to them.
I know you don't commit to them, but it gets weird because then, if you go out, like say 20 dates, you're always going to find someone you like enough to see for a couple of months.
For a couple of months.
I don't know.
No?
My odds have been pretty bad. I've gone on a lot of first dates in the past year, and no one I wanted to see again.
Do you end it there, or do you give them like a second chance?
No.
And so instantly you're like,
Well,
this is not
I mean,
working.
it's like, why am I going to waste everyone's time if we don't have chemistry? If it's not going to work, if I already know that I don't, and I mean, I read into everything that they say and make sure that they're not crazy. So I'm probably over analytical.
I found when I was poor, and I was a lot younger, obviously, but when I was poor, women wanted to have sex with me, and now that I'm rich, women want to marry me. I don't know how that change happened or why. It's confusing to me. I think I've lost my sex appeal, but I've definitely gained my marriage appeal.
Well, you're like a dad.
Yeah, maybe it's the dad
know?
factor.
Some girls like the
Single dads are sexy.
Some girls like the single dad thing, and some girls don't like it. Some girls think that it takes attention away from them.
Wow, I think it's awesome. It shows that like you have the ability to love something,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
like,
that you're
responsible.
You're
You can-
nurturing.
yeah, I think single
and that
dads
you're
are
an
the
adult.
best.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. My problem is it's like, and I haven't. I've only been separated from the mother for a year and a half, so I haven't introduced my son to any other girls yet. Ever. I don't know if I have a set and sort of rule on that. I think it's probably, if the relationship's going well, maybe 6 months you should introduce or something. Some people say a year.
6
Some people
months is
say
good.
you can do it after a month or something, but I would never want him to get attached to anyone.
Yeah.
I think 6 months is safe.
Yeah.
You know the person. You know you're going to continue to see them unless,
Possibly.
something goes awry. But
Yeah.
That's a hard choice to make, though. That's
But it's
like-
also with a kid, you do the sit down like, this is such and such. She's going to be around a lot more often.
Yeah, what do you say? You're like, this is my friend.
I think you do it like it starts off with that's a friend, and you do it in a
Yeah.
group situation, and then there's another
Right.
party or a barbecue, and that person's there again, and then you just ease them in until the kid goes, I guess this person's... I still don't know how to do it.
I've dated single dads, and they wanted me to meet their kids right away.
Really?
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. Like
Yeah.
from some women, they're like, "Oh, well, this other guy I dated, he wanted me to meet." And I'm like, "No,
No, I don't think it's right.
no."
It's not.
Yeah, I definitely think it's good to be super protective of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
kinda-
your kids. They're so precious. And then, you don't want him to go back to his mom and say there's a bunch of random women hanging
bunch of
around,
random women.
around, mothering me.
Yeah.
Porn stars, maybe.
Hanging around and mothering me. That's how kids talk. I'm being mothered by this other person.
I know, like, what is a 5-year-old's perspective on something like that? Just like, all right.
I think when the kids are teenagers, you can introduce whoever you want. They've got their own lives by then.
Yeah,
They've got their own shit going down.
Yeah,
This is-
they don't
This is
care.
what people don't understand. Is like when you have a kid, they're only little for a short time, and when I have 50% custody and all that type of stuff. So it's always like people go, well, why don't you just get a nanny for a week or whatever? And we go, and I'm like, no, because he's only little for so long. As soon it's going to be like within a couple. Because even now he has his own plans every weekend. He has birthday parties. He has to go.
Really?
He has a huge social calendar. A 5-year-old has a calendar that's. Because everyone invites everyone in the class to the fucking party. They're all friends. No one's defined like, oh, this is my best friend or whatever. They're just all friends. They all get along.
How many people are in one class? That's a lot of parties.
In his class is like 12, and then there's other people like my friends' kids, and his ex's, my ex's friends' kids, and all that stuff. There's always a birthday party every weekend. I've been to so many events with bouncy castles in the last year and a half.
It's a
Little
good weekend
gift bags
holiday.
and stuff like that. The rich people have real good like the fancy people. Like you want to go to those parties.
Like where it's catered and
yeah.
there's like hors d'oeuvres.
Ponies.
Yeah, I
A
like
bar for the
Petting
adults.
The bar for the adults.
Yeah.
I like
There
to
should
have.
always be a bar.
I like to have the like my parties for him be a little bit more ghetto. I just have like a guy does balloons and a bouncy castle, and the balloon guy's just a guy that you meet at like
You found him at
Universal
Home
City.
Depot.
Yeah.
Like ties the things in knots and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and in the end, it's mostly adults getting the balloons. Everyone's wearing like a balloon hat.
I gotta say that is such an
That's fun.
underrated talent. That's amazing that people can do that.
To make balloon toys?
make
I think
things
that
out
you
of
could watch a
balloons.
YouTube video and do it.
But
Not
that's
as good as these real good.
incredible,
Like
though.
the kids would come up and go, "Oh, I want a minion. Oh, I want an ET. I want a bicycle." They'll make anything.
Yeah.
You made Minions?
Yeah, Minions are pretty easy actually. Yeah, I've been watching the Minions. I know how to do it. Yeah.
I used to love that. Like cats,
Minions.
dogs.
Yeah. I always wanted
Dinosaurs.
swans. I liked a good swan.
Yeah.
Who wants a swan?
Swans are unique.
No wonder you do such bad.
This is why I'm
first
single,
dates.
yeah.
You want fucking
Because I like swans.
swans. You probably take. Do you take food home from the date?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
No,
good.
no.
Is that a bad move?
Okay, that's in it because in America it's socially acceptable. Australia you can't even do that, even if.
I don't think it's socially acceptable in America.
No, I've definitely been on dates
You've been on dates where people did that?
where the women have boxed up their food afterwards.
Been like, I'm taking those.
That's
I could never.
a big red flag.
I was actually on a date last week where it was like we ordered all this food and there was clearly a lot extra. It was like Indian food. We ordered like a bunch of stuff and I was just like, you take all of it. So is it weird if a guy takes it?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's like, what are you doing? This is a social thing. It's not like you're,
Oh,
are you
you're right,
trying to
you're
get your
right,
next
yeah.
meal. Like, what are you're looking for leftovers? It's weird. It's weird. It takes
Wesley agrees.
It takes like
Our audio
like
engineer's
any
nodding.
romantic. But if you're never going to see the person again, why not? I think if you never want to see them
Like
again,
if it's a bad date, you're allowed
Yeah.
to take the food.
I don't know. Look. There's been people who I've seen again since, but I just wrote it down to that's what Americans do.
I don't think so.
What do you judge people on, like on a first date, Jim?
Well, you have to be a good conversationalist. If I can't chat to you, then that's the definitely not. If you're this sounds silly, but I can date a vegan, I can date a vegetarian, I can date any type of. If you tell me you have celiac disease within the first few minutes, you can fuck off. I don't. It's not real. There's about 5 people on Earth who fucking have it. It turns out every pretty woman in this town has celiac disease. No, seriously. No, I know other people do lie about it. But what do you have? Oh, I have little cramps if I eat any bread or anything. Just say you're fucking trying to stay skinny. I have no fucking issue with this. And a thing that's like gives you cramps is not a disease. Cancer is a disease. I'm lactose intolerant. If I touch a bit of fucking milk, I go and shit myself. I don't call it my lactose disease. Right?
Yeah, but people who really have that.
Oh yeah,
I know people have
getting
it.
Lactose disease.
It is a very small percentage.
It's a very
of the
small
population.
portion of the population, but it seems to be every actress in town has celiac disease. There's nothing wrong with saying I don't eat carbs just for whatever. And if you fuck with the menu too much, I love food, right? So if you fuck with the menu too much, that does my head in as well. If you get in and go this on the side, that on the side, and can you hold the blubber and the whole thing, and then I'm just thinking you've just deconstructed the entire recipe, and I've taken you to a nice restaurant, then you get the food and you go, this isn't very good. And I go, I imagine not. I imagine not. Now you have meat and some uncooked vegetables with 4 different sauces in tubs around the plate. No, it's not very good. And so yeah, that I'm like, I'm already out. I don't mind if you're, as I said, you're a vegetarian or what have you, and that's your thing. But it's pickiness that I go, I can't. What am I going to do with this person because every date's an interview. You go, what's going to happen like 10 years down the track if I'm with this fucking woman? I have to fucking listen to this every time I go to eat.
It's true.
Not happening. So you got to be a good conversationalist. You have to find me funny. Otherwise, that's my only skill.
Wait, do you actually go on dates with people that don't think you're funny?
I go on dates with people who haven't even watched my comedy.
Oh my God.
But wouldn't you prefer that?
No! Put like 5 seconds of time into watching just a little tiny clip or something. Because then you find out, because also you can find out a lot from me that I'm not religious, that I, blah, blah, blah. And then you could, afterwards, I'm a very particular type of comedian. You can watch me afterwards and find me offensive. And I'm like, what am I fucking wasting my time doing this thing?
Yeah, it is actually a pretty good way to get to know someone. Watch their stand-up.
Yeah, you just watch their stand-up for a few minutes.
Right,
If I was going out with a female comic, I'd watch this for fun. And often...
You would.
Often I'd go on dates with actresses, and I definitely watch their show reel before I go out. If I'm just like, I'll just have a little... It's not like I'm stalking. I do a little 5-minute little bit of reconnaissance, and then I go off and I have the date. So I find, what are you here for? What are we doing?
Have you researched someone and seen that they weren't talented and
your opinion?
There's the hotness to talent ratio. If
Yeah.
you're really good looking, I can put up with you being really untalented. But but if you're really not that good looking, you're extraordinarily talented. It goes the other way as well. In all fairness, I can date an ugly if they're extraordinarily talented.
Yeah, talent crush.
Yeah, I can have a talent crush on someone. Yeah.
So if somebody had the talent of
It's
Meryl
like when you look
like
on the
Susan
Raya
Boyle.
app or whatever app, and they sort of, you can see that there's people who are just like Instagram model-y type people,
Right.
and then you see the other people where you're like, oh, you design furniture, and you're like, that's interesting. You know what I mean? That's a turn on as well. Where you go, oh wow, there's someone who's got something going on in their life is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like someone
Multi-dimensional.
not just multi-dimensional. Someone who you need someone who has a reason to wake up.
Yeah. I have a weird talent crush.
What's your-
Benicio del Toro is my talent
I think
crush.
a lot of people have that.
Yeah, a lot of girls like him.
Yeah.
There's something attractive about him.
He's just so intense, I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, a lot of women like him.
Yeah.
Who's your talent crush?
Talent? Who's a famous person that I have a crush on? Golly, I haven't thought about this. Golly, I haven't thought about this for a while.
And get
But
yours ready, Ariel.
It's starting to be. I now, because I know I'm getting older, because when I was young, it was all young girls that I looked at. But now it's like the other day I was sitting with a friend, and because of the new TV show, whatever, I said that Alicia Silverstone's holding it together well. Actually, yeah. I start to admire that. I'm going, oh, someone's taking care of themselves.
That's someone who's super healthy.
And then when you get a bit older, you start, when you get to my dad's age, you're like that. Oh, she has an active mind.
Active mind?
Your parameters change with age, yeah.
She has an active mind.
Yeah, I go, oh yeah, that one. Yeah, so it's I'm trying to think. It's one that I have like a talent crush that I think is just like a really good good actress or something like that.
What about you, Ariel?
Like Emma Stone, I like, and I don't think she's particularly what you call conventionally hot, but I really like her.
She's great.
Yeah,
She's
she's
quirky
so
and
talented.
she's got something to her, you know.
She's articulate.
I bet she'd be really fun to hang out with.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
also when you start looking at people like that would be a fun hang.
Like
Yeah.
a Jennifer Lawrence.
Right.
She's
girls
also beautiful.
Girls who can make laugh at themselves, you know, a bit silly, like a little silly.
A little goofy.
I didn't care for goofy when I was younger. Probably found it intimidating or something when I was younger, but now
Really?
yeah, when you're young, you know.
You seem like the type of person that would not be intimidated by anyone. Like, you're such a big personality.
No. Well, of course, you know, everyone's intimidated by someone. Sometimes I go on dates and my hands are shaking. I don't order soup because I'm too shy. Because I get shaky hands really easily. If I have soup, I can't get it to my mouth. So
I cannot
That's
believe
so
that.
endearing.
I like to order a meal that's knife and fork worthy. I can't have anything too saucy or curry or something like that.
Oh my
I need a
gosh.
nice solid meal on a first date. I work up to soup by number 5.
Should we move to some fan questions?
Let's
Sure.
do
We
it.
have some people that submitted some questions for this. Okay, so the Pussifers asks, we can't think of a good question because we don't understand why anyone would date when they can hoard cats instead.
You can do both.
You can.
Yeah, you're right.
You can.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks for submitting that question. You dated cats more than women?
No, I've dated cats and hoarded women.
Oh.
Dated cats and hoarded women.
That's scary. Paul Knight asks, what have you learned? Would you do anything differently in a relationship? Do you have an answer for that, Jim?
Well,
In your years of dating?
every relationship I've been in has been not successful because I'm not in a relationship. So,
I think those are the best learning experiences, though.
I think there's something. There's people who I would have broken up with way earlier. You know what I mean? That's the thing I would have done differently. I would have stopped that. I would have stopped the torture and just gotten out there way earlier. And then there's things. Mostly in my younger years, I wish I treated some people better. You know, there's people that people I cheated on. There was people that I was dismissive of. There was people I took for granted. You know, and then there's other people who I think I treated really well, and they fucking dumped me. So there's no rhyme or reason to what goes on. You know, I've been a good guy and a bad guy and everything in between. I think.
We all have.
I think I'm getting better with age. I think I'm definitely getting better with age.
When do you know that something should be over? Like, what are the clues or signs?
When the good times are outweighed by the bad times. Because you can be in that relationship where you go, but the other weekend was so perfect, and when we really click. But it's when it's like, you're looking back, you're like, I had one good day with this person this week, and I had 6 shitty days. And that's been a constant. It's just the simple math of that. I write the pros and cons lists. I sit
You do
down.
that?
Yeah, I write down a pros and cons list towards the end. I go, is it worth it? I think all relationships in life are like that. Even friendships are like that. You write down, like, is this person too much of a fucking leech in my life, or are they a good person or a bad person? And you can forgive for a lot, especially if you love someone or what have you. But yeah, that's how I do it. How do you do it?
How do I know when something should be over?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one specific thing is coming to mind where I was with someone, I was living with them, and when I would go to sleep crying and I would wake up with anxiety.
Oh my God.
And that's
Yeah,
when I
that
knew.
that should have been over a
time.
year earlier than that. But yeah, so you don't really know when things should be over because that's
Yeah. I felt like this same relationship, actually, there was like a point where I was like, hey, I just need to know that like you want to be here doing this. Like, I don't like feel loved. And when I realized I was asking to be loved, like that's pretty bad.
Have you ever dumped
That's when
someone
you were
that you're
into
still in love with? That's a tricky one.
I did.
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
When you just go, I
Really?
Yeah.
I still love this person. I want it to desperately work out, but I just can't see how it can.
No.
Wait, okay, so I want to know
like a
these
circumstantial
scenarios. Like,
thing.
why did you have to break up with them? Like, what was the thing that wasn't going to make it work?
There's things I'd rather not say, but in case that
Yeah.
person listens to the podcast. But there was issues that I had with her that she said she was going to change, and then she'd change for a week or two, and then just back to the same. You know, and like that. I'm not saying like like she had to talk to me better and she got out of her cage too quickly. I'm talking like just, you know, like you got like this particular person sort of like didn't cheat on me but would emotionally cheat constantly. It was always like there was some guys that were hanging around and she couldn't let go of that, and then there was problems she had with me that like I was in trouble every time I went on the road to do gigs, and I was like, how am I in trouble for doing my fucking job? And that was after that relationship was when I decided that I needed someone with their own shit going on. You can't not have your own shit going on.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have your own shit going on, our relationship becomes your occupation.
Right.
And that's
Too much pressure.
And drama and this and that and what are we doing when and the thing and I need this, I need that. And it's just like, if you got your own stuff going on, it's nice to be able to talk to another person about their day as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to be responsible for someone else's happiness.
Yeah.
It's a lot to
Complete
put
happiness,
on someone.
you know?
Yeah. That's those codependents. I mean, some people like it.
This Icy Life asks, I ghosted a woman yesterday because I felt all she wanted was a dinner. She made the date 3 days before, but didn't want to talk or text before. It was the first date. Is there an acceptable ghosting?
Well, I don't get this. This is what I've experienced with modern women that since before I had the relationship with my ex. What's this? Yeah, we're going on a date. I always thought you had like 5 or 6 phone calls for us to see if the conversation can flow before you go out. Now everyone wants to just meet for a coffee, and it's like we have FaceTime and shit. It's this whole texting thing. People are terrified to talk to you on the phone.
Yeah, it's too
Yeah,
intimate.
yeah, I don't like that either.
I don't
Oh, I
either.
love talking
I'd like
on
to
the
hear
phone.
the-
No,
love
I
chatting
mean,
on
I don't like people's fear of talking.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I'm
beforehand.
Like, but what if we get together and now I'm fucking sitting there and, you know, let's have a chat on the phone. And if all goes well, I have one FaceTime and then we're in a date and then the fucking ball's already rolling. No one's nervous. Everything's fine. You've already had a chat. And then also you can bail very easily if the phone conversation goes badly or what have you. And you don't have to waste your fucking time on a date.
It's easier than leaving a date early.
But they just, no, we'll just text. And you're like, oh, all right. I don't know.
Yeah, is texting a good gauge of chemistry with someone?
I feel like
I
it
don't
makes,
think so.
and I feel like women think I'm a really old man when I go, hey, I'm just going to ring you. And they're like, what? This guy's ringing
Very
me?
old school.
This guy's ringing me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's good, right? The ring.
Yeah, I like the ring.
It's gentlemanly. It's like how people used to date.
I've even found it now. It used to be, when I broke up with girls when I was in my 20s, it used to be like, how dare you just ring me up to break up with me? How dare you not do this to me face to face? Now, it's like, so I broke up with a girl and it was like, just face to face. Hey, it's not really working out. And she went, how dare you do this to my face? You could have just texted or something like that. Why did we have to go through this big ordeal? And I'm like, I always thought that was I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to fucking show up and watch you cry.
Oh my gosh.
So what is it now? Am I meant to text you? Is texting not good enough? Because it used to be ringing wasn't good enough. It used to be like ringing, you weren't putting enough effort in. Mm-hmm. Now I feel like ringing's the sweet spot to break up with someone.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to do it.
I broke up with the last guy I was seeing for like 2 months in a text message. Am I a bad person?
Yeah, now I'm starting to think that maybe text message is the best way to do it because people don't want to be crying in front of.
Yeah. But also, I mean, it depends on the relationship.
I think it
how
depends.
close are you? I mean, that guy probably deserved a text.
He did. He deserved a text. I was like, I'm done.
And she was dumped via Snapchat.
Oh my God, that's really funny.
They sent her a photo?
Like
No,
a
just
dick
like-
pic?
like-
This
no,
is the
just-
last
Oh,
time
the
you see
Snapchat
this.
Like
DM.
a Snapchat DM, but still a message that would disappear.
But how great to just send someone a photo of like someone disappearing or something like send them like Boys to Men's End of the Road, like something that says this is over.
Like a funny breakup?
Yeah.
That's great.
That's the best way to soften the
No
blow.
one wants a funny breakup. The way I broke up with my son's mother, who I'm still like really, really good friends with, and we knew that the relationship wasn't working for about a year at the end. I just bought another house. She went, what did you do that for? And I went, for you to live in? And she went, oh, okay, and high-fived me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But you guys knew that it was coming to an end.
Yeah, we were.
And you just made it easier for her.
Yeah, plus we both still got along, but the conversation just turned to we just talked about our son. We didn't talk about anything else. But we loved that kid. We still do. We love that kid so much that it was a fun conversation to have with someone. Because that conversation now is because I have on dates now where I'm like, all right, don't show them pictures of your kid. You know, because people act like they are happy to see pictures of your child. And I always used to hate people who showed pictures of, oh, here's my such and such.
Oh, I think it's sweet.
Oh, no, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but you say that, but I'm like, all right, don't do that because people will feign interest. And it was good to have a person in your life where you both looked at pictures of this child and went, oh, and really were excited, generally both in the same level. So there was that, yeah.
I mean, who would not love pictures of your kid, though? He's so sweet.
He is a very sweet child. Very nice child.
I can't imagine someone being like, oh, this is annoying. There's like the
Well,
people
they
that
wouldn't say
don't
it
like
out
dog
loud.
pictures or cat pictures. Like those, that's all I look at. Like I start
Yeah,
my
but you don't
day
go on a
with
date and
cat
show
pictures,
someone pictures
dog-
of your dog.
I do. She's
You
the background
do?
on my phone.
I don't show pictures of my cat.
See?
Mostly because I'm already a
Really?
cat
No,
lady.
that's like the first
No.
thing. I'm like, hey, I'm Erin.
No,
I do
that-
comedy.
That's
Yes.
when you have a life.
Right?
You always
Look
have
at
a
those
dog. That's
dimples.
like,
Yeah. I'm
He's
like, this is
so
the best thing
cute.
in my life right here. That's all you got to know about me.
yeah, that thing will be dead and you'll be sad.
Yeah, that'll be the worst day of my life,
That's
probably.
See, the chances are that I'll die before him and he'll be sad. So that's all right.
Yeah.
You'll die and you'll be very depressed. There'll be no podcast that week.
Jim!
Well, or we could do a very sad podcast that week.
Now I'm
You
so
crying.
depressed, you guys.
How old's the dog?
She's 6 years old.
Oh,
She's
God.
got time.
Oh my god!
No, she's got at least like another 6 months.
Another 6 years, maybe. Another 6 years, maybe.
That's
But what
great,
will happen
though.
is, within the next 6 years, I'm predicting that you'll probably have a child, right, within the next 6 years. And then you'll hate that dog.
Why?
Because that happens to all women, right?
I'm never
Yeah,
gonna
all
hate
my
my
friends who
dog,
had
though.
babies.
The bond that you have with a baby is so fucking strong.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that you all think that, oh, the dog. As soon as you hold the dog, there's some chemical thing released in you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where the dog will come up like, and you'll go, get the fuck away from the baby. What are you doing? Right? The dogs become these like fucking ugly stepkids that just wander around the house going, I used to run this fucking place. What's going on now?
Wait,
They're
do you
not-
have a dog?
No,
Did that
but I've
happen to
seen it.
you?
I've seen this happen time and time again to other people who've had. I would love to have a dog, but I feel like being a comedian, you can't have a dog because
If you're on the road a lot, yeah.
Well, if you take the dog everywhere, like Eliza.
No.
When I was on the road all the time, my dog lived with my parents. Yeah, so I like shipped her off for a good year of my life.
I tried to convince my ex. I said, "How about we buy a dog, and you have it when like it just travels with the kid wherever the kid is, the dog is."
It's like his security blanket.
That's kind of cute, and they can have like it's that bond.
Yeah, the
too.
kid will always have the dog. But no, she wasn't up for it. Yeah, no, so I can't have a dog. I'll figure out a way.
One of these days.
One of these days, I'll get a dog.
What kind of dog would you get?
rent
An
a dog.
Australian Shepherd?
No, I like small to medium dogs. I'm not a big dog person.
Yeah.
I can do anything from I'd have a Chihuahua. Me, I don't give a fuck.
Pomeranian.
But yeah, I'd have something in between. Yeah, I like a dog that very little walking.
Like a backyard.
Maybe you should get a
but,
cat.
when you get a great big dog and it's like, all right, gotta take it for a run,
Yep.
and you're like,
Don't get a husky. They have a lot of energy.
yeah, like an Australian sort of blue heeler.
Yeah.
Look, sheepdog.
Yeah, definitely a small dog.
What type of dog's that?
She's half Maltese, half Yorkie.
Yeah, that's good. Yorkie's
Yeah.
a beautiful little thing. That's a
Yeah.
nice dog.
She's a good dog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Sweetheart.
like all dogs, but I like her.
That she shouldn't be too yappy. That type of a dog. Right?
No, she's not, but she does bark for attention.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so you
But
can't
she's not
train that out
annoying.
of
She's not
her.
an annoying, like, shaky dog. I hate those shaky dogs that are always in someone's purse and, those shaky dogs.
Have
Those
you
are
ever-
The
skinny-
Chihuahuas
like
are shaky.
Chihuahuas are
But the
always
Chihuahuas are
shaking.
shaky because their hearts are too big for their body. So when the blood's rushing around, they're like, oh, wow, there's a lot of blood coming through my body.
Man,
I
I
think.
didn't. Is that true?
It is, yeah. It's because of, that's why they're shaky. They're not nervous.
Yeah.
Just
But they
their
seem
their
nervous.
frames are so little. It's the same like if a little bird would be shaky. The skeleton's so fucking,
Oh.
I don't know.
It's like
All
a
right.
dog that needs Xanax.
Last question before we let Jim go. Have you guys ever dated someone where you met their pet and it was a deal breaker?
No.
Really?
No, I always enjoy when the new girl has an animal because then I go, I got a temporary pet for a bit.
What about you, Ariel?
I dated a guy who was obsessed with his dog in a weird way, like where he wouldn't want to be away from the house more than 4 hours.
Yeah,
That
oh
was too
God,
much.
I've been through that. We have to get back before such and
Yeah.
such and such will be worried, and it's like this dog will live in your house for 2 weeks after you're dead, right?
Yeah, the dog doesn't need you as
and
much.
then I'm not talking like we're going away for the weekend and just leaving the fucking dog. I'm talking about you go out at 6 and then you're getting back at like they go, you have to be back before midnight. The dog will be worried, and you're like, the dog will be fine at 2 a.m. It's fine. You left food out, and the very worst, you have to clean up a shit or something. It's gonna be fine.
The dog is sitting up waiting for you. Like, where were you?
Yeah,
Staring out the window.
When the dog runs your schedule. I miss
there
my
you go.
ex's dog. Yeah, I used to like that dog more when she wasn't with her. Right? When
just you and the dog
like a
solo
Jerry
hang?
Maguire
For a
situation.
few times in a relationship, I dog sat the dog, and it was a completely different animal. I feel like she used
Really?
she used to stress the dog out because she was always like, "What do you want to eat? What are you gonna do?" And the dog was always like that. And then when the dog was just with me, the dog got in my groove and just laid on the couch and was like, "Yeah, all right, this is what we're doing."
I know what you mean.
That is awesome.
Yeah, the dog was just like it's laying on my chest, and she goes, "Send me a picture of the dog. Is the dog fine?" And then I'd send a picture of her like sleeping on my feet, and she goes, "She never does that with me." And I'm like, "Yeah, you upset the dog."
Straight up, doesn't like you.
We have a dog in this office. My assistant has a dog that I'm very fond of.
Oh, we
Lola,
met her.
we met
Lola, yeah,
her.
Lola's a
She's
cutie.
so
The
sweet.
problem with Lola is she's the exact same color as this couch.
Oh my God,
Like it's not
camouflage.
even a shade off.
Oh,
I sit on Lola all the
Oh,
time.
no.
Actually.
poor Lola with those little legs.
Yeah. And
That
and
long
it takes her so
body.
much to jump up onto the couch as well. She does it though. Yeah, my son likes Lola as well. But that dog's lovely. It's very calming
cute.
very calming around the office. We have about 4 or 5 dogs in the office.
Wow.
It's fun to have an office pet. Like, it's a good distraction.
Yeah, I don't think
stress relief,
the
man.
building says we're meant to have dogs in here, but I have an open dog policy at work.
I should have brought Ripkin.
I mean, they're all emotional support dogs. They can all wear vests.
We did a thing on the emotional support animals. We qualified an emotional support camel.
Wow.
Oh, I saw that.
I'm a registered owner of an emotional support camel.
You own that camel?
We don't own the camel, but I can get that camel at any stage, and I'm allowed to walk it around the streets of LA just with no one bothering me.
Did you ride it?
I did ride it, yeah. It was
It's kind of cool riding camel.
It was a massive camel. It was funny. Like I said to one of the cameramen, I said, I bet you it's not every day you film a camel, like one of the older cameramen, and he goes, I filmed this camel 7 times. This was the go-to Hollywood camel.
No way.
When someone rings up and goes, I need a camel for a sketch or something, this camel's very TV ready.
Very popular.
Accomplished camel.
That camel has more IMDb credits than I do.
Probably. all
This
of us.
camel at the end of its career will be in the memoriam at the Oscars.
Oh my God, Hollywood forever.
They'll do like a wax figure, a wax camel,
Yeah,
Wax
yeah,
camel.
yeah. They'll
a
put
waxed camel.
They'll put its feet in the Chinese theater, and then people will just see it and assume that a big girl sat down.
Oh my God. Oh my God, on that note, thank you so much,
Did that
Jim.
one good?
No, I
Oh,
loved
I
it.
love
That's
that.
where we're going.
Thank you for taking the time
Thank
to be
you.
on our podcast.
We really
and for
appreciate
discussing
it.
this
That's
with
all right.
us. Discussing
Discussing.
this with us.
When you came in, I was asleep. I was on Kevin and Bean this morning. I came back in here and had a nap for like 3 hours. So thank you for waking me up.
You're very welcome. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Ghosted Hunters. We'll see you with part 2 coming up next week.
Bye, guys.